Ever looked up at Neptune and thought like, could it just drift off? you
Yeah,
know,
float.
float away. That sounds like pure science fiction, right? But
Yeah.
today,
Yeah, it does.
we're going deep into the real science of like planetary
Yeah.
orbits, gravity, all that,
Mhm.
to find out if it's even possible for this giant icy planet to like break free
Right.
from our solar system. We've got a fascinating article that digs into this exact question. And don't worry, we'll break it all down so even the most like distant concepts feel a lot closer to home.
It's a question that definitely gets people thinking.
Yeah, it does. So to kick things off,
Right.
let's talk about why Neptune stays put. It's all about gravity, isn't it?
You got it. The sun's gravity is just incredibly strong.
Right.
Even at the mind-blowing distance that Neptune's at.
Yeah.
It's like 30 times farther from the sun than the Earth is.
Wow.
And that's what's kept Neptune in this stable orbit for billions of years.
Okay, so that's a seriously strong hold.
Yeah.
But let's just say hypothetically something did happen to like mess up Neptune's orbit. Okay.
What could possibly cause that kind of like cosmic shakeup?
Well, one scenario is we have this rogue star
Oh.
wandering a little too close to our solar system.
Uh-oh.
You can kind of imagine its gravity yanking on Neptune like a tug of war.
Yeah?
If that rogue star was massive enough and got close enough,
Okay.
it could potentially pull Neptune right out of its orbit.
That's a little unsettling.
It is.
But how often do stars, just wander close enough to cause that kind of havoc?
So think of it this way.
Okay.
It's like winning the lottery twice while being struck by lightning.
Oh, wow.
The odds are astronomically slim. These close encounters happen maybe once every few billion years.
Wow.
And even then, that rogue star would need to practically sideswipe Neptune to have any real impact.
So we can probably cross Rogue Star off our list of like Neptune dislodging culprits.
Probably safe to do that.
What about that mysterious planet 9 we keep hearing about? Could that be a potential like Neptune nudger?
Planet 9 is a pretty fascinating theory.
Some scientists propose that there's this hidden planet
Okay.
way out there in the solar system influencing the orbits of other objects.
Right.
But even if Planet 9 exists,
Uh-huh.
which is still a big if,
Yeah.
its effect on Neptune would probably be minimal,
Okay.
especially compared to the sun's powerful influence.
Right.
It wouldn't be strong enough to like kick Neptune out of the solar system.
So neither a rogue star nor this mysterious Planet 9 seem likely to send Neptune packing.
Right.
What about the galactic forces at play? Our solar system isn't just sitting still in space, is it?
Absolutely not.
It's moving.
Our solar system is constantly orbiting the Milky Way galaxy,
Right.
which means we travel through areas of space with different gravitational forces,
Okay.
kind of like cosmic tides, you could say.
That makes sense. So could areas of stronger gravity, like tug on Neptune, make it veer off course?
While those galactic forces do exist,
Okay.
they're spread out over incredibly vast distances.
Yeah.
Think of it like a gentle, widespread breeze,
Yeah.
rather than a powerful gust of wind.
Right.
These forces might subtly affect Neptune's orbit over billions of years,
Okay.
but they wouldn't cause any sudden dramatic shifts
Right.
that would send it careening away.
No galactic slingshot effect for Neptune.
No, not really.
Now, I remember learning about something called orbital resonance. Doesn't that have something to do with planets' gravitational interactions?
Yes.
Could that affect Neptune?
You're on the right track.
Okay.
Orbital resonance is a pretty cool phenomenon.
Yeah.
It actually helps stabilize Neptune's orbit.
Hmm.
Think of it like two swings swinging in sync.
Mm-hmm.
If one swing starts to get out of rhythm,
Yeah.
the other one kind of helps pull it back in line.
Oh, okay. That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So how does this cosmic swing set apply to Neptune? Does it have a dance partner out there?
It does.
Who is it?
It's Pluto.
Pluto.
Pluto and Neptune are locked in this orbital resonance.
Oh, wow.
For every 3 orbits Neptune completes around the sun,
Uh-huh.
Pluto completes 2. And this synchronized movement creates a gravitational anchor that keeps their orbits stable over long periods.
So we've got this cosmic dance keeping things in check.
Yeah.
Are there any other cosmic events, like some dramatic wildcards, that could affect Neptune's orbit?
Well, we can't completely rule out catastrophic events
Okay.
like a nearby supernova
Oh.
or the influence of dark matter.
Ooh, now we're talking exploding stars and mysterious dark matter. Those sound pretty intense.
They do.
Would those really affect Neptune's orbit, though?
While they sound dramatic, these events are unlikely to dislodge Neptune.
Okay.
Supernovae, for all their power, are localized events.
Right.
The odds of one happening close enough to actually impact Neptune's orbit are incredibly small.
What about dark matter? It seems like this mysterious force is everywhere pulling strings from behind the scenes.
It's true that dark matter makes up a huge part of the universe's mass and exerts a gravitational pull.
Right.
However, that pull is spread out over these vast distances like a thin fog
Okay.
rather than a concentrated force.
Right.
So it wouldn't be strong enough to single out Neptune and fling it out of the solar system.
Yeah.
It would just be a kind of general effect.
Got it.
Yeah.
So no supernovae?
Not likely.
No dark matter shenanigans?
No.
Neptune seems to be pretty safe from those cosmic wildcards.
Yeah, it seems so. Looks like Neptune's pretty firmly rooted in our solar system, huh?
Yeah, you're right. Despite all those potential disruptors, Neptune's orbit seems pretty secure, thanks to the sun's powerful gravity. It's kind of reassuring to know it would take a truly extraordinary cosmic event to overcome that hold. But this deep dive has really made me appreciate all those intricate forces and interactions constantly at play out there.
It's amazing to think about.
It really is. So based on what we've discussed, sounds like we can safely say Neptune isn't going on any interstellar road trips anytime soon.
Right.
But like with anything in space, I imagine there's always a possibility, however small, of something unexpected happening.
That's the beauty of science, right?
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, new mysteries to unravel.
Exactly.
Who knows? We might discover some new phenomenon that changes our whole understanding of how gravity works or how planets interact.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
There could be forces we haven't even discovered yet.
Right.
That could influence Neptune's orbit. It's mind-boggling to think about all the unknowns that are still out there.
It really is.
So you're telling me that even though we've mapped out the solar system and understand the basic principles governing its movements, there could still be surprises in store.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
We can make predictions based on what we know now, but the universe is full of wonders and mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Who knows what future observations or discoveries might reveal?
That's exciting and a little bit daunting at the same time.
Yeah.
Speaking of unknowns, we've been focusing on like the here and now of Neptune's orbit, but I can't help but wonder what its ultimate fate might be.
Okay.
Billions or even trillions of years from now. Will it always be circling the sun, or are there events on a truly grand scale that could alter its destiny?
Now you're thinking on a cosmological timescale.
I'm trying.
And you're right, the far, far future of Neptune.
Yeah.
And our entire solar system really is tied to the evolution of the sun itself.
That's right. I remember learning about the sun's life cycle, but the details are a bit fuzzy. Could you refresh my memory on what's in store for our sun down the line?
Sure. So the sun, like all stars, has a lifespan.
Okay.
Billions of years from now, it'll start to run out of fuel and enter its red giant phase.
Right.
During this phase, it expands dramatically.
Okay.
Becomes much larger and cooler than it is today.
Wow. So the sun will become this giant red star.
Yeah.
What does that mean for Neptune? Will it get engulfed in a fiery solar embrace?
It's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
Though there's some debate among scientists about exactly how far the sun will expand during its red giant phase.
Right.
Some models suggest it could engulf the inner planets, maybe even reach as far as Earth's orbit. But whether it'll extend far enough to reach Neptune is still an open question.
So Neptune might get swallowed up by a giant red sun,
Yeah.
or it might just end up with a front row seat to the most spectacular cosmic light show imaginable.
Exactly. Either a dramatic end or an awe-inspiring spectacle.
Yeah.
But even if Neptune survives the sun's red giant phase,
Okay.
it won't escape the next stage of stellar evolution.
Okay, so what happens after the red giant phase?
Eventually, the sun will shed its outer layers,
Okay.
leaving behind a dense, hot core called a white dwarf. It'll be much smaller than the sun we know today,
Right.
and won't produce energy through nuclear fusion anymore.
So a white dwarf is like a retired star cooling down after a long, brilliant life of shining.
That's a great way to put it.
And with the sun's energy output, drastically reduced its gravitational hold on the remaining planets, including Neptune, will weaken.
Right.
Does that mean Neptune could finally break free, drift off into interstellar space as the sun fades away?
It's possible, but not certain.
Okay.
Even as a white dwarf, the sun will still have a pretty strong gravitational pull.
Right.
It's possible Neptune's orbit will just widen,
Okay.
become more elliptical as the sun's grip weakens. Instead of breaking free, it might end up in this vast, elongated orbit around a fading star.
So Neptune might end up in this long, lonely orbit around a cooling star.
Right?
A cosmic waltz in slow motion.
Exactly.
Wow.
A poignant end to a planet's journey, billions of years in the making.
This deep dive has really taken us on a journey
Yeah.
from the present-day stability of Neptune's orbit to the distant future and the eventual fate of our solar system.
It's pretty amazing to consider.
It is. It's truly awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
And even though we can't predict the future with absolute certainty, it's fascinating to explore these possibilities and think about, like, the grand sweep of cosmic events.
Yeah, it really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. It reminds us that even seemingly permanent fixtures in our sky, like the planets, are subject to change and evolution over these vast stretches of time. It's wild to think that, like, Neptune's fate billions of years from now is tied to the sun's life cycle. We've been talking about all these potential disruptors to Neptune's orbit, but it seems like the sun itself might be the biggest factor in the long run.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The sun's evolution is going to have the most impact on Neptune's ultimate fate.
So while we can't say for sure what will happen to Neptune billions of years from now, it seems like there are a couple of main possibilities. It could get swallowed up by the sun during that red giant phase,
Right.
or if it survives, that it could end up in a wider, slower orbit around the sun's white dwarf remnant.
Exactly. Those are the two most likely scenarios based on what we understand about stars.
It's mind-boggling to think about those timescales, these cosmic events unfolding over billions of years. It really puts things in perspective.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds us that even things that seem permanent in our sky, like the planets, are actually changing and evolving over incredibly long periods.
Well, I think we've covered the question of whether Neptune could ever leave our solar system pretty thoroughly. It's been a fascinating journey, and I hope you, our listener, have enjoyed it as much as we have.
It's been great discussing these astronomical concepts with you.
Before we go, I want to leave you with a thought to ponder. We've been talking about Neptune, but these same forces, these same cosmic processes are happening all over the universe.
Yeah.
Every star has a life cycle, and every planet orbiting a star is on a journey through time influenced by gravity, stellar evolution, maybe even forces we haven't discovered yet.
That's a great point to end on. The universe is vast and always changing, and there's so much we still don't know.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep looking up at the night sky with a sense of wonder. Who knows what other mysteries are out there waiting for us to uncover?